And I would really like to hear about your comments, your thoughts, anything you think, anything you can think of that will help me perhaps even better to understand this situation. Well, of course, this is one small part of what I could show you today.
That's fabulous, Sanja. Thank you so much. I think maybe we'll all stay together for this because we're kind of running a little bit behind schedule. So if we all stay together and maybe if we can converse together, make a bigger we, as Sanja was talking about. So maybe we go to our online colleagues first and see has anybody there any comment or question that you would like to pose or to say to Sanja.
Yeah, I've just thought it was really fascinating, and I was just writing there actually that I agree that teaching is all about relationships, student, and teacher, and I think that care has become so much more important since COVID, and what, you know, and that care during the period of COVID became the sort of the value that was the most important. And yeah, it's just really lovely to hear your presentation, put it all into words. I love all the pictures as well, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Is there anybody here who'd like to?
Sorry, I see.
I just wanted to say congratulations, Sanja, for taking something so positive from COVID. And I think there were three things in particular, maybe four, that struck me. Lots actually, but you know, in particular, maybe three or four, just for the sake of comment here. The first one was your recognition of the fragility of the students as they come into university and start a university course. And then the data that you collected to support that, I think, is really, really interesting. The second is that whole Vygotskian idea of the affect and the intellect, the need for the alignment of the two for learning to take place. I think that beautifully came out in the end as well. And the third is the lovely lead on from what Bernie spoke about this morning earlier, that preface to your book, the reference to Anna Stensensko. I think you'll find her research very interesting now. She has a paper that I think was published in 2008, and it was from relational ontology, as in the people to each other, to a transformative stance. And I think that's where I'm going with this. I also think you addressed very well our concern with reflective practice by creating an atmosphere of trust. Your students reflected in a very sort of honest way. So just want to congratulations, really enjoyed it, looking forward to this paper. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's great, thank you. Okay, so we'll go to Sarah next, online. Yeah.
Oh, hi, thank you. I just wanted to pick up on the theme that was really coming out for me about building mutual relations, and it's something that I connect with in the work that I've been doing with ESOL students, and it's something I'm going to be talking about a bit later on today as well. So I would really love to have your feedback on if you see there are some links, some overlaps between what we're both doing in a bit later on. I really appreciate what I've heard from Bernadette and yourself this morning, and I can see that we're sort of coming together around an idea, and it's really rewarding and inspiring to hear what other people are doing. You're not alone. We might feel that we're doing things individually in our own spaces, but together it creates something really powerful.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. I really agree.
Yeah, really inspirational. Okay, back in person again. Hold on a sec. Sharon.
Hi, I just wanted to ask a question. I'm just doing my doctorate now, and I'm going to be working with teachers, and I'm creating a community of practice, although I don't create one, but I'm just wondering, I'm asking my teachers then to reflect on their experience of being part of a community of practice, and I'm just trying to decide, do I give them a model for reflection, or do I just not, just give them their journals and just allow them to reflect freely? Which would you recommend?
Well, I think it's important for them to reflect freely, of course, but our feedback, I think it is also very, very important to perhaps focus something that they didn't, to focus on something and to offer different perspective, perhaps if they even haven't thought about it. And it helped me a lot to ask some further questions. For example, why do you believe that? Or has it always been like that? If they are having some challenges in their practice and in their relationships with others, and then they start to go into even deeper reflection. It is not only superficial, because if I don't have this feedback, it's a kind of it stays on this superficial level. So with more and more feedback and open questions, they gained a lot of a better perspective on their problems. And I think it is that also helped them a lot to because they could see what other students were writing. It was open diary. So I think that helped them to perhaps think about some issues from different perspectives that they didn't consider themselves. So these particular things really helped me a lot.
Okay.
Well, I just want to say that I hope my Croatian is half as good as your English. Mutemo, yes, we can.
Thank you.
That's good.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to comment on this that Sarah wrote for student reflections, that she offered initial choice of reflective questions, and we agreed a set of prompts as a group for the group. Yes, so that is initially what I also did. They had some guidelines what to write about. For example, how did I feel during today's class? What are the challenges I noticed? What would help me to engage even better? Am I satisfied with my engagement, and so on? And with this reflection, they were free to write even more around these questions, but I also gave them then feedback and discussed with them live during classes. So thank you.
Thank you, Sanja. That was an amazingly refreshing presentation. What struck me was that we're always talking about the I at the center of action research, at the center of self-study. And it's always an I, taking into account that we work with other I's, and we become a we. And that really came out very, very strongly. You really are living your value of care. It's visible, it's evident. And the other thing that struck me was, in Irish, we have the word mehel, which means like we come together to do work, we support each other. But also the Zulu word, I think it is Ubuntu, I am, because we are.
We are, yeah.
And that came out very strongly. So thank you.
Yes, I agree. Thank you very much.
Okay. No final comments from anybody, either here or online?
Yeah, could I ask a question? That's okay, Maren. I found that fascinating, and I really like the end bit there on reflections and how to get it at a deeper level. That's really helpful. I just wondered, could you share with me a little bit more about your actual methodology, how you went about doing this piece of research? Because I find that fascinating.
Well, at the beginning, I had a plan. I started with how do I realize this relational pedagogy in my classes, and what are the challenges? This was my main question, and this is the reason why I pointed out the flexibility at the beginning, because from the first class I started doing that, and of course I started with some goals that are similar to this that I showed you in the table, and some criteria from which I would be able to track these changes, and tried to gather data mostly from a reflective diary, also from anonymous evaluation during our classes, to be able to give them also this even more freedom to perhaps say something if they want anonymously and that was the main way of gathering data. But the most important, actually the real frame of my research, the methodology, came together when I realized what exactly am I focusing on. Because if I only stayed with my initial idea to focus on my relationship with students, to create the most engaging lessons, to try to get to know them even better, and so on, that I won't be living my value, and that is to really care for them. And by that I mean, what do they need the most from me at this moment? And when this became clear, the whole methodology, then I was able to put it all together during these goals, criterias I had, and I was able to track and monitor this the accomplishment of this criteria during their reflective diaries and their cooperation and behavior during classes. And I plan to write the whole paper about it, and